Most people who move to the Tampa Bay area have no idea how different each part of the metro really feels until they're already here and unpacking boxes. I've helped so many families relocate to Tampa Bay from out of state, and the ones who struggle almost always ran into a few totally avoidable issues before they ever got serious about neighborhoods. So before you commit to a move, there are some real pros and cons of living in Tampa Bay that you need to hear. Plus, some specific areas you should have on your radar. Hi, I'm Angie Allstott, a Florida realtor and broker associate based here in the Tampa Bay area, helping buyers, sellers, and investors all across Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, Palm Harbor, Temple Terrace, New Tampa, and the surrounding suburbs. If you're thinking about moving to Tampa Bay, I'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. All of my contact information is in the description and pinned comment below this video. Let's start with something that's both a pro and a con. Tampa Bay is a large, spread out metro, and life in South Tampa feels very different from life in the northern suburbs of New Tampa or Wesley Chapel. And that's completely different again from the west side of Palm Harbor, Clearwater, or downtown St. Pete. South Tampa and Hyde Park give you that historic, walkable Bayshore Boulevard lifestyle. New Tampa and Wesley Chapel feel newer, more master planned and suburban. Palm Harbor and parts of Clearwater have more of a relaxed, coastal family vibe. And that variety is a huge advantage. But if you pick the wrong area for your lifestyle, it's going to affect your daily life in every way, from your commute to schools to how often you actually see the beach. There isn't just one central hub where everything happens. Instead, you have several activity pockets: downtown Tampa and Channelside, West Shore, South Tampa, downtown St. Pete, Clearwater Beach, and Sand Key, plus suburban centers like West Chase, Brandon, Temple Terrace, and Wesley Chapel. Most people here drive. Public transportation is limited compared to larger northern cities, so you're usually hopping in the car to get to work, school, dinner, or kids' activities. Even in more walkable areas like Hyde Park, Channel District, or parts of downtown St. Pete, you'll likely still rely on a car for a lot of your day-to-day living. And because everything is spread out, commute times can be unpredictable. On paper, a 10 or 15 mile drive might not look bad, but during rush hour on I-4, I-275, the Veterans Expressway, or if you're crossing the Howard Franklin or Gandy bridges between Tampa and St. Pete, that quick trip can easily double. For example, living in Wesley Chapel or New Tampa and commuting to downtown Tampa or West Shore can feel fine in the off-peak hours, but it's a very different story if you're trying to travel somewhere at 8 a.m. or 5 p.m. And the same goes for living in Clearwater or Palm Harbor and working over in downtown Tampa. You really need to think about those bridge drives. So where you live and in relation to where you work or where your kids go to school, it matters a lot more here than it might in a smaller town. One of the biggest pros is our lifestyle. We get tons of sunshine and warm weather, which means you can live outside almost year-round. Beaches like Clearwater, Sand Key, St. Pete, and Honeymoon Island in Dunedin, the Tampa Riverwalk downtown, boating and fishing on the bay and the Gulf, playing pickleball, tennis, golf, and all kinds of outdoor events and festivals are constantly happening. Florida also has no state income tax, which is a big plus for many of my relocation clients who are coming from higher tax states. If you're dreaming about that Florida lifestyle of beach days, outdoor dining, sunsets on the water, Tampa Bay delivers on that. But that lifestyle comes with a few trade-offs. Summers are hot and humid, and you'll absolutely feel it, especially inland in places like Brandon, Riverview, or Wesley Chapel. You learn to do outdoor activities early in the morning or in the evenings, and you really appreciate air conditioning. You also have to be comfortable with our storm and hurricane season, which can mean strong storms, lots of rain, and planning ahead for insurance, shutters, evacuation zones, school holidays, and depending on where you live, especially in low-lying or waterfront properties in South Tampa, Clearwater, and the beaches, you definitely need to be prepared. And yes, we do have bugs and wildlife, mosquitoes, palmetto bugs, and other very Florida critters. So pest control and screen eyes become part of normal life. I'm often asked, are there alligators in that lake, pond, or river? And the answer is always yes. I lived among them my whole life with no issues, and honestly, they were here first. So for me, they're just a small con on a long list of pros. Now, let's talk about one challenge that surprises a lot of people coming from other parts of the country: property taxes and insurance. Florida's lack of state income tax is a big win. But in many cases, you'll see higher property insurance costs than you're used to, and property taxes can feel higher compared to some lower tax market once you factor in things like assessed values, special districts like CDD and PUDs, and certain other fees. If you're coming from a state with very low insurance costs or very low property values, it can be a shock at first. On top of that, flood insurance and wind coverage may be required or strongly recommended in certain zones, especially if you're close to the water or in an older housing section, which adds another line item to your monthly budget. For more details on flooding and flood insurance, please check out my video pinned in the comments below. That said, when you zoom out and compare Tampa Bay to other major Florida metros like Miami, our home prices are totally more accessible. You often get more house and more neighborhood options for your money here than you would in many parts of Miami and Fort Lauderdale. As a resident of Miami in the past, I definitely agree with that, especially if you're looking for a single family home in a good school zone rather than a condo in a high-rise tower. So while taxes and insurance can feel like a con compared with some other states, the overall price point in Tampa Bay versus Miami is a pro for many of my buyers who want Florida but don't want Miami level pricing. Now let's dive into neighborhoods, because that is where a lot of people either fall in love with Tampa Bay or end up feeling like they chose the wrong fit. If you want that classic upscale in the city feel neighborhoods like Hyde Park, Davis Island, and parts of South Tampa, those are popular. You're close to downtown, walks on Bayshore Boulevard, great restaurants, and you get that charming established vibe. But you'll pay for it, both in home prices and lot sizes. For many buyers, this is where they're trading square footage and yard space for location and lifestyle. If you're more of a young professional who wants energy and walkability, you might look at places like Channel District, Harbor Island, downtown Tampa, or Ybor City. And then on the Pinellas County side, downtown St. Pete, and neighborhoods just surrounding it. These areas give you condos, townhomes, apartments with quick access to bars, restaurants, and events. You're closer to nightlife and the office, and you're not as worried about a big yard or being right next to a top-rated elementary school. For families who want that suburban, master-planned feel with strong schools and amenities, neighborhoods like West Chase, Carrollwood, parts of New Tampa, Wesley Chapel, and areas in Pasco County are big draws. West Chase in particular is known for its village centers, community pools, golf, and highly rated schools. And it offers a nice blend, suburban calm with relatively easy access to the airport and West Shore. New Tampa offers newer construction, community amenities, and a more planned feel with a mix of single-family homes and townhomes and convenient access to major roads, shopping, and dining. Now, let me highlight Temple Terrace because it's a bit of a hidden gem that not a lot of out-of-state buyers know about. Temple Terrace has a charming, established feel with beautiful trees, homes with character, and golf course neighborhoods. You're close to the University of South Florida, major hospitals, and I-75. So it's convenient for people who work in healthcare, education, or downtown, but don't necessarily want to live in the middle of the city. You get a more relaxed, old Florida feel, access to the Hillsborough River and parks, and often a bit more house or yard for the money compared with some of those hottest zip codes, while still being central to a lot of what Tampa offers. On the Pinellas side, areas like Palm Harbor, Safety Harbor, Seminole, they can be a great fit for families who want good schools, parks, and a bit more of that coastal small town feeling. You're close to the beaches, but not always paying the full beach island premium. And you still have a wide range of housing options, from older Florida ranch homes to newer construction and townhome communities. Please take a moment to like and subscribe to my channel and comment below which neighborhood you'd like me to share more info on. If you're thinking about more of a retirement or a slower pace living, Tampa Bay has a lot to offer. There are 55+ communities scattered throughout the region, along with golf course and low maintenance options, both in Hillsborough and Pinellas County. Retirees often gravitate to quieter pockets of South Tampa, certain parts of Clearwater and Palm Harbor, or active adult communities in Waimama and Sun City Center, where lawn care and exterior maintenance are handled. The combination of warm weather, no state income tax, and good access to healthcare is a big draw for retirees moving here from the Midwest and Northeast. Financially, you'll want to look at the full picture: purchase price, taxes, insurance, HOA, CDD fees, and your commute costs. Again, Tampa Bay generally comes in with lower home prices than Miami and some other high-profile coastal markets, which is a big pro if you want to be in Florida without paying top of the state pricing. The trade-off is that Compared to some lower cost states, our property taxes and especially our insurance can feel like a con, particularly in areas closer to the water or in older homes that don't meet newer building codes. So, is living in Tampa Bay, Florida right for you? That really depends on your priorities, your commute, schools, budget, proximity to the beach, neighborhood vibe, and how you feel about heat, storms, and the realities of Florida insurance and property taxes. There's no one best neighborhood here. There's just the best fit for your lifestyle and your budget. My job is to help you sort through these trade-offs, introduce you to different parts of Tampa Bay, including hidden gems like Temple Terrace and Palm Harbor that might not be on your radar yet, and make sure that you don't end up regretting where you land a year after moving in. If you're considering a move to Tampa Bay, I'd love to talk you through your situation and help you dial in the right area and the right home. All of my contact information is below this video. Reach out by call, text, email, or click the link in the pinned comment to get started. When you think about Tampa Bay, are you more excited about the lifestyle and location, or are you more focused on keeping your monthly costs, taxes, insurance, and payments as low as possible? Comment down below.